the right to self-defense is a right. Um, Driving on our highways is a privilege.
Today, I am sitting down with Sam, a Navy veteran who turned a garage side hustle into Off Grid Armory, a full-on firearms business in Shevlin, Minnesota. They're not just selling guns, they're making suppressors, shooting full auto, and teaching folks how to carry safely. Once again, thank you for joining me.
Awesome. Glad to be here.
Yeah, nice to have you. Well, there's a few icebreaker questions to really warm us up here.
Sure.
What are the three rarest guns, either in your personal collection or there in the shop?
Ooh, okay. So I have a bunch. I got a kind of a soft spot for rare guns. I have a double barrel safari rifle that belonged to Herman Goering. I have Buffalo Bill's revolver that he carried on him when he rode for the Pony Express. And I have Belle Starr's revolver that she was wearing on her when she was gunned down in the early 1900s. Belle Starr, they made a bunch of movies about her. She was part of the James Gang, and she was wanted as a horse thief.
Wow. Yeah, that's quite the collection. I don't have anything that rare or historical going
I
on in
like
mine.
like one of one guns. Like there's only
Yeah,
one.
yeah, no kidding. That's crazy. But what is your everyday carry?
My everyday carry is a SIG P365 X Macro Comp. 17 rounds of 9mm. It's absolutely awesome. The comped version is quite nice because your follow-up shots stay on target. We sell a lot of those guns because I carry one. All the guys at the shop carry one. Yeah, it's a great weapon.
Yeah, it's probably one of the most popular, I would say.
Totally agree.
But
Yeah.
putting it up just a tad, what is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Mint chocolate chip all day.
That's mine too.
Or if someplace has like a black licorice flavored ice cream, I'm all over it. Yeah.
I can't say I've ever heard anyone say that before, but
Delicious. It's delicious.
I'll take your word for it.
If you
But
ever go to a place that has it, order it.
I I might try it, but I can't promise that. So, okay. And then the last one before we really dive into the story, I guess, is what is your favorite Bible verse?
My favorite Bible verse, Hebrews 4:7. Um, I'm actually discipling a young man in Bemidji, and we have been meeting once a week. Hebrews 4:7 or Philippians 4:6. We could do this all day long. Genesis 1:1. Dude, come on. They're all my favorite.
Awesome that you're doing that, and yeah, it's tough to pick one.
It is
So,
tough. I'm actually leaving on a missions trip on Monday.
oh, that's why you're going out of the country. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to Honduras with a team of 12. So there's 12 of us, and it's pretty cool. We're going to build two houses, but it's a small group, and the people we're going with are locals. So we've been invited into the men's prisons and the women's prisons to witness, and also to go to a couple of orphanages and to the dump where a lot of people will get their food. So we're going to go feed people for the day at the dump, and yeah.
Um, no, that's awesome. Good luck, and we'll be praying for you at this household. So,
Please do. Yeah, my wife's not excited about going into the prisons in Honduras because the criminal gangs actually run the inside of the prisons. It's not like US prisons. So she's like, please don't die.
well, like I said, we'll be praying for you. I'll bring it up at my church as well tomorrow or Sunday.
That'd be awesome. Please do.
Perfect. All right, well, let's get into the meat of it, I guess. Can you take us back to the beginning? And how did you go from serving in the Navy to selling firearms out of your garage?
Oh man. So I was in the submarine force, got out in 2001, moved to Albuquerque, was a civilian contractor for a company that worked for the Air Force. My parents decided to sell their resort to us while we were living in Albuquerque. So we moved back to Minnesota and we bought the Itasca Sports, which is a bike and boat rental in Itasca State Park. We bought that outfit. And while we were running that business, I was getting more and more into firearms. And during the Obama era, I was trying to procure stuff for my own armory. And like, what is this business? Like, I cannot buy an AR-15 in the United States right now. What is happening? And that's when I really started to examine the firearms industry. It is a giant roller coaster. It is completely unpredictable. It's either hot or it's cold. And I was fascinated by the industry. And that's how I ended up getting my own FFL. And for the first 4 years of being in business as Off Grid, I was running this company out of my garage. Nice 40 by 60 garage, basically turned it into a gun shop, but it was at my house. We taught a lot of permit to carry classes, and that's how we exposed ourselves to all of the local people in the area. So you get them in with training, and then they see you have inventory, and now you're becoming their gun store. And we did that for 4 years. Did every gun show within a 300-mile radius of where we are now, because that was my store. You don't just build a store, you got to hustle and grind. So did a lot of hustling. And then one day I was talking to my wife, and I was like, man, we got people coming in from all over the place. A lot of these people I don't know. They're coming to our home. I'm getting uncomfortable with this. So I need to either get out of the business completely, or we need to build a separate location that had open hours. And when the gates open, we're open. When the gates close, we're closed. And that's why we built this facility. And that was 6 years ago we built this place.
Nice. Was there any point during those 4 years where you knew this was it and this was what you wanted to do?
So 6 months after we moved into this building, I had all this inventory in this building, tons of it. And I'm like, okay, now what? What are we going to do? How are we going to get people in the door? 6 months after we moved into this building with all that inventory, COVID happened. You remember what happened during COVID? It was the wild west of gun selling, gun procurement, ammo. Nobody had anything. And over that 5 years previous, I had built an amazing relationship with one of my distributors. I slowly became his largest account. And so when COVID happened, he would call me on the phone and he would say, hey, I have 27 pallets of guns. It's take it all or nothing. And so I was buying everything they had, and we were selling all of it within weeks, usually. Yeah, it was just crazy. But COVID thrust us forward 10 years. It was a 10-year leap. It was bad. It was bad for everybody, but it was great for the firearms industry.
Right. Yeah, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
When you were first starting out, what were some of the biggest hurdles you had to overcome to get to where I guess you are as a storefront now?
Hiring employees. Nobody ever wants to hire employees because it's an expense. But the best thing that you can invest in any business is investing in more employees, people with character, people with integrity, people who are willing to learn. Investing in employees was huge. And also for me, it was learning how to balance the checkbook with lots of zeros at the end of it. It's easy to spend your way to the top, but you got to pay your bills at the end of the day. And that was tough. That was a struggle. Like, how much did I spend? Oh my Lord. I got to pay for that.
Yeah, I don't even want to try to think of how much the 27 pallets of guns was, but you don't need to share it either. But
it was insane. Yeah.
So what got you into manufacturing suppressors?
Okay, that is a great question. That is a great question. So from the very beginning of Off Grid back in 2016, I immediately got my SOT and was dealing in suppressors. I bought a silencer shop kiosk from Silencer Shop so that would make me the go-to resource for suppressors. Was in the industry for about 6 years. And I'm like, man, these cans are expensive and they're not that good. They're heavy, they're loud, they're not that good. And so I had some friends in the 3D printing industry that printed dental devices for people. Like they could make anything out of titanium using 3D printing, additive laser manufacturing technology. And so I took a dead air suppressor to my friends who had this facility and I said, how do we make our own 3D printed titanium suppressor? And the light bulbs came on all around the table, and everybody was like, man, that's a good idea. Like, this is a great idea. I think we could do this. Took 4 years of inventing, testing, development, research, Pew Science, to where we are now, where we actually have a sellable product that is sold nationwide. Yeah. But that's how it started.
Oh, okay, cool, cool. And for those who don't know, are all of your cans 3D printed?
Yes. Yep. So we own Off Grid Suppressors. It's patented technology. They're all 3D printed. We print out of titanium powder and Inconel powder. So the Inconel version is a full auto rated can. Our Inconel operator has passed the US SOCOM tests, which is the military's ultimate destructive test. There are not many suppressors in known existence that have actually passed that test. Also, they've all been tested by Jay at Pew Science. They've got incredible ratings. Our Scorpius, the 22 suppressor, just came in at second quietest ever made. So we're proud of that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very
That's
proud of
really
it. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of manufacturers out there, and they've been in business for like 40 years. And here's the new guy showing up. I'm competing against Silencer Co., Dead Air, Surefire, giants in the industry.
Yeah, right. How long does it take for the 3D printer to print one can? Or do you do it baffle by baffle?
No, so there are no baffles in our suppressors. Yeah, so that's what's really cool about our suppressors is they're actually it's an invented internal design that is a hybrid flow technology, and there is no baffle stack in it. So baffles have been around for 122 years. This is totally new technology. So they require little to no cleaning. You basically don't even have to clean your suppressor. You just shoot it and it cleans itself. It's pretty wild. But they're printed on a plate. The printer is about a $2 million machine, and we can print 12 30 caliber suppressors on one plate at a time. And it takes about 12 to 16 hours to print a plate. Our 22 suppressors, we can print 60 on a plate.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
So they're not individually printed, they're printed on a plate.
And do you just have the one machine or do you have multiple machines?
So my guy has 40 machines.
Okay.
40. We can produce up to 2,500 cans a month. So if the Hearing Protection Act passes in the big, beautiful bill, did you know that you won't be able to buy a suppressor for about 8 years if that passes?
What do you mean?
So if that bill passes, everybody in the world is going to be like, I'll take 5. In order to put a suppressor on just 10% of the guns that currently exist in the United States, it would take 8 to 9 years of current production to meet just 10% of those guns wanting a suppressor on it.
Okay, that's what I thought you were going with that, but I didn't know for sure.
Dude,
Um, yeah,
be
I figured. Yeah, I didn't know if I should stock up now or wait. Or, I don't really know.
I mean, if you can get by without paying a $200 tax, I would wait, but pull the trigger early.
Oh, I have my SOT as well.
Oh, awesome.
So,
Yeah.
I just recently got my FFL back in March. I got my SOT mainly for this next coming in July.
Yep.
So July 1st. So I really don't really have a clue what I'm doing, but I did get my FFL this year and the SOT this year, or will have the SOT this year, I guess. So, which is
We all start there, man. When I got my FFL and SOT, I had no idea what I was doing.
right. And now that the Hearing Act and then the Short Act might pass, I'm like, well, was it $500 wasted? We'll see, I guess. But
No, because you'll still need an SOT to buy suppressors from distributors.
So we'll see what happens, and we'll see if it passes. I mean, the Senate is really taking their sweet time with that bill, so we'll see if we even have it by August. So,
Yeah.
which I believe it's 60 days after it's actually passed, right, where it goes into effect.
They're saying we might know by July, so we'll see.
So maybe the 3 months leading up to it, just all the money goes towards suppressors and SBR. Well, suppressors really. You can make any gun SBR really, so
Fact.
it's going to be easy enough. But tell me about the shop behind you. From what I've read, it is bulletproof. Is that true?
I don't think anything is truly bulletproof. But when we built this building, I wanted it to be mega secure, mega safe. I mean, obviously, our location is a great location to be in because we're not downtown Minneapolis or St. Paul where there's riots often. Like, we're 4 hours from Minneapolis, so we're tucked away in the woods because we make a lot of noise with machine guns. But yeah, the shop is pretty secure. Like, we have layers upon layers upon layers of security. Yeah.
So could a 50 cal shoot through it?
Not through certain parts of it, no.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So I know you're in northern Minnesota. I really don't know much about your city. Um, is it kind of populated, small town, middle area, or is it?
I'm in the city. So where we are is completely rural. We're about 24 miles from three different towns. We're right in the middle of the forest. We're 4 miles from the headwaters of the Mississippi River, where the Mississippi River starts. We're 4 miles from it. So it's a heavily trafficked tourist destination. But yeah, we're very remote. But the cool thing about a gun store, it does not matter where you put a gun store. It could be on the backside of the moon. People will show up to buy guns from you. Yeah.
Yeah. If you build it, they will come, right?
Yeah. They always say location, 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 except if you're a gun store.
Yeah, fair
Fact.
enough. I mean, I'm in the Green Bay area, and I think there's really only two or three, and I mean that's 200,000 people, so
Yeah.
roughly, well, county-wise, but yeah. So yeah, the reason I was asking is because for your carry classes that you put on, I was always wondering how you like just fill the place full almost every time you have one.
Marketing. My wife is a marketing genius. So from the beginning of Off Grid, we've worked on social media. So we have, I think right now we have 120, almost 128,000 people on Facebook. And then on X, we recently started, but we only have like 15 or 16,000 people on there. But social media is huge. Just having fun on social media and showing people what you do. We've been in the industry for 10 years. So for 10 years, we've had word of mouth advertising. People have had an amazing experience with Off Grid, with their permit to carry training, and they tell 10 people and it just spreads and spreads and spreads. But we buy billboards, newspaper, we have television commercials. Advertising, you cannot do it enough. And it's one of the hardest things that you can do because you're throwing this money out there and you're not seeing an instant result. It's not like buying a gun and now I have a gun. No, marketing, you're throwing all this money out there and you're hoping some of it comes back. But yeah, just a lot of marketing, a lot of word of mouth advertising. And yeah, our permit to carry classes are packed. We have, I mean, we've had during COVID, our classes had 135 people in them each for like 9 months in a row. It's staggering numbers. We had an in-person class last Saturday, and I think we had 63 people in it, and that was a small class for us that was very manageable. I don't know, our classes are just huge, but I'm so thankful that people keep coming and every month. Summer's supposed to be slow for permit to carry, right? It isn't.
Yeah. No, just in the videos, pictures, everything you've shared on social media, I never would have guessed those numbers, I guess. But
Yeah.
I've never actually sat down and just counted them out one by one and said, okay.
Yeah.
But even the 63 looks like it's a crowd of people.
So, I mean, we have 80 is a normal class size for us in each class, but we only teach one class a month so that I don't get burned out. I want to stay fresh and stay excited about it. You know, I could teach a class a week, but then it wouldn't be as exciting and fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
Do one a month.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Most of the people that attend your concealed carry classes, how many of them have not ever held a gun or shot a gun before?
Quite a few. I always tell everybody your permit to carry adventure is like step one. So if you don't know anything about guns and you're not comfortable with them, never shot a handgun before, I tell everyone, I'm like, take a permit to carry class. You will learn so much on how to handle a firearm, what the laws say, because we're in Minnesota, which happens to be the fourth worst state to use self-defense in. Fourth worst.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Maybe not fourth, but I would guess top 10 for sure.
Yeah. It's not good. So people are really fearful of the law and the judicial system in Minnesota because we're the fourth worst. Everybody knows it. And so, yeah, they want to know what they can do, what they can't do, where they can carry, where they can't carry. And we're just like clear as day on all of that. Basically, when somebody leaves our class, they have no questions. That's my goal is they have no questions. But yeah, a lot of new people. Recently, people under the age of 21 can carry in Minnesota now. So a lot of under 21 in our class, all of our classes now, which is exciting for me. Because I joined the military at 18.
Right. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
I
You
can
can
die
fight
for
for
my
the
country at
country.
18 years old. Why should I not be able to carry a firearm?
Right. Right. Like that some older vet back in I think it was Vietnam, I believe. He was in I forget what branch, but he came back after deployment and he wanted to go back almost immediately and he said something along the lines of that in this country he's a child, but over there he's a man. Basically meaning almost exactly what you meant, except for maybe it was drinking or maybe it was the pistol lot too.
Yep.
So,
I remember when I came back from my first deployment and I got carded. And I was like, what? And I was like, oh, wait, I'm 19. I'm back in the United States. Like, I can't just go to the bar and order what I want.
yeah, I know Wisconsin was one of the last ones to change it, and we only had to change it from, I believe it was 19 at the time to 21 because they were going to cut federal funding to the state if they
Yep.
didn't change the drinking age.
Yep. Sounds
But
about right.
yeah, I read in an article somewhere, and you can tell me if this is true or not, but yeah, you said that your mission is to equip people to protect themselves. And why is this personal to you?
So the right to self-defense is a right. Um, Driving on our highways is a privilege, not a right. So your driving privileges can be revoked if you drive like an idiot. Your right to self-defense and your right to firearms ownership is a fundamental, foundational America issue. It's what makes America different and unique and special from every other country on this planet. And that's why it's so important to me. It's because I'm a history buff and I study history. And 35 times in 35 countries, people have had firearms confiscated from them. And then we all know what happens after that.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you are a subject after that. So the permit to carry is a really big issue for me. Like the reason this place exists is for permit to carry. It's not for selling guns, not for selling ammo. It's not for shooting machine guns and having fun. It's for teaching permit to carry classes and equipping those families with the equipment they need to protect themselves and their families, their neighborhoods, and their friends. That's what it's all about.
Right. Yep. History repeats itself. It's never.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That and I meant to ask this earlier, but I'm glad you kind of brought it back up again with the machine guns or MGs, if you will. I see you shoot about a different one every Friday. And today, well, I saw your video today as well. How many machine guns do you roughly have in the shop?
Roughly about 76. So I've got about 76 full auto Friday videos I can pull off before you start seeing repeats. It's a disease. So we have an '07 license. We're a manufacturer. And my gunsmith, he is like Rain Man when it comes to machining. He is a genius. He cannot hold a conversation with the person, but he can build a machine gun. And so that's why we have such a spicy variety of machine guns here.
Gotcha. That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, yeah, I would have guessed that many. I have seen a variety of them, but I thought you were first going to say 7, and then when you started going after the 7, I'm like, okay, yeah,
That's what happens when you go from an '03 to a manufacturer's license. It's like, oh, wait, I can build whatever I want. Ding. What are we gonna do? Yeah.
Right. So Hollywood, mainstream media, everything, they've really kind of built up a mindset for people around suppressors. What would you say is like the reality for you, your customers, and what do you see coming in the shop?
Yeah, so Hollywood has demonized suppressors. So Hollywood itself hates firearms and anything to do with firearms, yet they keep making movies that have nothing but firearms in them. And everybody thinks that if somebody has a suppressor, that they're a hitman or a felon. And it's the exact opposite. In the last 91 years, no, 9 people in the last 91 years have been hurt by a legally owned suppressor. So literally, they're never hurting anybody. And no bad guys own them because you have to go through legit process to take possession of a suppressor. So Hollywood has ruined that. That's why you still have to pay a $200 tax stamp to own a suppressor. But with the big beautiful bill, hopefully they get deregulated, no more $200 tax stamp. And then, I mean, you still have to pass a background check to own it. I'm okay with that. But yeah, hopefully that passes, and that's what I'm seeing in the future. And if that happens, the suppressor industry is going to take off like a rocket ship.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it. Because I mean, just the $200, even though suppressors are around, let's say 800 to 1200 on average,
Yep.
probably that $200 is a deterrent on for most people. And even though it's roughly 20% of the cost,
Yep.
um, that's a big process. That the wait time, I would say, is also a big process. Not many people live where SOTs are, so maybe it's an hour, hour and a half trip, and then they have to go there, get fingerprinted, wait, drive home, wait till well, right now we're seeing faster times than we've ever seen before, right? It's not 9 months anymore, typically.
It's
It's
24
within a
hours,
month.
24 hours to 2 weeks is a standard wait time now.
Yeah. So making that trip, that 2 hour trip 4 times, essentially, is also the deterrent. But
That is a fact. You
so
have to travel 4 hours to buy cans from us. My record holder for $200 tax stamps, I have one customer who has bought 35 tax stamps. 35.
that's incredible. I hope he has a frame somewhere or something. That's pretty impressive. So
Yep.
wow, yeah. Are you within your area or within however big of a radius? Are you the only class 3 dealer?
Oh boy. Definitely. So Dead on Arms and Cloquet is about 3 hours from us. They're a class 3 dealer. Down in St. Cloud, 3 hours from us. I believe there's a class 3 down there. Fargo, which is in another state, is 2 hours away. They have two or three. But yeah, there's no class 3 dealers. I mean, that's the great thing about it being a class 3 dealer is you really set yourself apart from a normal gun store. Normal gun stores don't deal in suppressors. They don't. It's too much paperwork. In their mind, they're like, it's too much paperwork. I don't want to do it. When really it isn't that much paperwork.
Gotcha. And you utilize, I'm assuming, the kiosk that you mentioned earlier still, or do you do like bypass it with a different fingerprint scanner?
He retired the silencer shop kiosk. We did that for a couple of reasons. So prior to e-forms coming into existence, the kiosk was the go-to way to transfer a suppressor. It made everything real easy. Once e-forms came out, the kiosk sort of became obsolete because the person would come in, do the fingerprints, do their documents, and then it would take Silencer Shop about 10 days to 2 weeks to prepare their e-forms. And then the customer would have to call us on the phone to certify e-forms over the phone. So it was really messy and there was a long lag time. And that simple step of call us on the phone, we'll certify your e-forms over the phone with you. That was one step too many. And most people, their can sat on our shelf for a year before they called us. One simple phone call and it would sit on the shelf for a year. So I found a new company called Cerberus, and it's a laptop, a fingerprint reader, a digital signature pad. And any new dealers that I set up with Off Grid Suppressors, I tell them to look into Cerberus. It's amazing. Like it takes 10 minutes on the Cerberus system, and the customer walks out the door and everything is finished.
Nice. Yeah. I thought you were going to mention a different thing, but that makes sense around the time period.
Yeah.
Um, well, yeah. Looking back on everything you've accomplished here in the last, what do you say, is it 7, 8 years,
And
roughly 10 years? Oops. Yeah. Sorry. Looking back on the last 10 years, sorry. What was the biggest lesson you've learned from everything, and what do you wish you would have known starting out?
that is a heavy question. I have learned that everything in this building does not belong to me. All money is God's. The shop is God's. Everything is God's. Basically, I am operating within God's blessing. And I wish I had known that a long time ago. Like when I first got into business, running the resort that we bought for my parents, the business was like an idol to me. And I worked that business with a passion because I didn't want to be a failure. I didn't want to ruin the business or damage the business. So it was like this major idol for me. And I had a motorcycle accident back in 2010 that should have ended my life, and it didn't. And I was laid up for a couple of months because I had a lot of damage to this body. And basically, I was shown that your days are numbered, but God picks your last day. So think about that for a second. Like this total freedom, knowing that each day is a gift. It's a gift. You can do whatever you want. You can be with your family, you can do business, but the business is not that important. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, we got a lot of machine guns. God could take it all away from me today, and I'd be like, if that's what God wants, that's what God wants. Like I have no grasp on it. And I wish I would have known that when I was in my 20s.
Sure. Sure. So when did you come to faith?
That would have been January 21st, 2008.
Okay.
January 21st, 2008. Yep.
The
And
exact date.
shortly thereafter, I had an accident. And that's what really made things crystal clear. Before that, I was like, this is new. Like, what do I do? What's my job? And then the accident happened. Then it was like all clarity was made clear, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I came to faith about, I mean, I was raised Catholic. I've always believed in God, but I didn't really truly know God, you know?
Damn.
About 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 3.5, somewhere in there. I don't know the exact date like you, but
You're a new guy.
rough time frame. So
Nice.
yeah, yeah. And I
We should do a podcast once and just share testimonies.
we could. Tell you the truth, this is the first time I've ever really talked to someone. I was so nervous going into this, but
Yeah.
it's pretty easy to talk to. So
Awesome.
yeah, I'm relatively new to Christianity for the most part. I mean, in my whole life at least, right? And then the eternity after it. I mean, there's a lot to, build off of. But yeah, that'd be cool to set something up. Plus, kind of want to hear how your trip to Honduras goes too. That'd be cool.
I'm so excited. So I am actually I was given the opportunity to preach in a Honduran church. And I was like, yes. And I was like, I have no idea what I'm even going to talk about yet, but I get to preach in a Honduran church with a translator.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's going to be so cool, man.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine doing something like that right now, but yeah, that's awesome. So if you were not running Off Grid Armory right now, what job do you think you would be doing?
I was going to say, I don't think that's a reality that exists. This is my lot in life. I'm operating in exactly what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be, and I have the family that I have, and I'm supposed to have them. And I don't know. I don't feel like I should be anywhere else.
It's a great answer.
Maybe that's not the answer you wanted, but it's true.
No, that's all right. That's it's a great answer, and it's a good way to look at it.
I might
So,
be a I might be a pastor in another country. I don't know.
gotcha.
Living off the land. I have no idea.
Sure. All right. So, what is next for Off Grid Armory? Are there any big plans that you can share with us for the future?
Yeah, so what we have coming up in the future, so Off Grid Suppressors has been and being sold nationally for the last year. Right now they are carried by Silencer Shop. We are potentially partnering with I said Silencer Shop, I meant Silencer Central. They're being sold by Silencer Central nationwide. We are partnering with Silencer Shop, and we are partnering with Capital Armory, and we are partnering with Spikes Tactical, hopefully. We also have a bunch of other things in the works that I can't mention yet because it might end it before it begins. But yeah, the suppressor industry is going to continue to go this direction for many years to come, and we're really pushing heavy on that. We are looking at building another building with stadium seating in it for our permits carry classes. But I'm kind of waiting to see what Minnesota does as a state before we invest more here.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense. It's a
But yeah,
downside to living in,
if you're not growing, you're dying.
right?
Every day we're growing. That's what we're focusing on.
No, that's super exciting. I'm happy for you and your wife and your whole family. Um, for those tuning in, where can everyone find you? I know you said where you're located nationally, but where can people find you on social media, your website, etc.? Where can
Yep.
people find your cans, your shop?
So on Facebook, we're Off Grid Armory, easy to find. Our brand is kind of in your face, kind of hard to miss. Our website is offgridarmory.us. We are launching a brand new suppressor website. It's offgridsuppressors.com. That's going to be launching in about a week. So that's going to be pretty huge. It's a beautiful website. I sound like Donald Trump now. It's a beautiful website.
The most beautiful website, believe me.
It's the most beautiful website, believe me. But yeah, it's going to have a dealer locator map on it. So everybody who carries our cans, they're going to be able to find a dealer near them. Our whole existence with the suppressor company is to push people to the shops that are selling our suppressors. I don't even want to make the sale. I want to send people to whoever is selling our brand. I want them to make the money. So we're building a dealer network right now. It's quite large. There I go. I sound like Donald Trump again. It's the largest, greatest dealer network. Sorry.
Cool. But yeah, this has been awesome. Thanks for tuning in, talking to me for the last however long. And everyone go check out Off Grid Armory, Facebook, Instagram, X, website, and see what's in store next.
Gunshot.